Hey, what's up and welcome back. So today we're going to be looking at this new Auto-Brewer design that I made. It uses the new crafter block here, and we're just going to go over some features, some drawbacks, how it works, and then some final thoughts on ideas for future designs. So first off, it's a single recipe module. So you store the recipe in these droppers back here from bottom to top. So this one will be your nether wart. And then the next item that you want to use, magma cream, I'm making fire resist here. Redstone dust will give it duration, make it splash, and then make it lingering. So we can have up to 5 different items in here. Technically, you could extend it like 1 block up like this, and then you could have another one up here if you needed 6. But this just fits better, and it will actually do like 99.9% of potions. Yeah, so it's a pretty simple configuration back here. We've got snow in the front. That's for a reason, but when you want to change things, you can always just bucket it and then put it back. And it should be relatively easy to change there. And then these bottom ones, you should be able to just access right past these front blocks. So yeah, configuration is a lot better than some of my other designs. And then we also have the new bottle crafting here. So we take in glass and go down to the crafter, craft it into bottles, and then we actually take the bottles here, fill them in water, and output them to our brewing stand. So we start with glass and we get filled bottles in the end, which is pretty cool, and it's in a pretty small form factor to do all that. The nice thing about doing it this way is that if for some reason another project needs glass, you can come back and grab glass out of here, and it's not all automatically crafted up into bottles. The one thing I will say that maybe in future designs I will have an input for bottles as well, because sometimes you don't end up consuming the bottle and then you can recycle them or use them from another project like honey or mud or whatever you're using them for. But yeah, that's a thing for a future design there. So this is actually completely lossless in terms of like bottles here. We're not ever having them get ejected out here where the hopper can't pick them up. And we're only ever doing 3 at a time for each craft. So we're not losing any bottles or any resources here. Another thing that's kind of lossless about it is it will never brew up a single potion, and it will wait for like 3 bottles to be available before it starts brewing the next round of things. So you're not actually going to waste your resources back here. It will also automatically start up. So we'll see if I take out these lingering potions, see it gets replaced by a water bottle. That gets replaced by a water bottle. This one will get replaced. And then the thing will go off. It will put my recipe in here and start brewing. And the way this works is that it has 3 water bottles in here just waiting. And as I take the bottles out of here, so now they're awkward potions, if I take them out, they will get replaced by the water bottles here. And when these 3 water bottles get used, the comparator will detect that and signal this torch tower back here to do 2 things. First of all, it will output a new set of recipe items on this side. And then on this side over here, it will trigger this piston, which will push down and trigger the dispenser here to fill some more bottles that it has in it. And then when the bottles go back into the hopper, then the comparator turns back on, it detects this retracts, and then it powers the crafter through the dispenser here to craft another set of bottles to replace the ones that just got used. All right, it's me from the future, and I realized I missed a few things in the description of how this works. First off is this bottom dropper here. This is your blaze powder refill, and that's why I just shoot straight into the side here, because that will refill your blaze powder. And that'll trigger often enough that you'll never end up running out. The other thing is the actual purpose of the snow here. So when these things output, they will output their items into the snow, and the snow actually slows the movement of the items. So this will keep them from flying out the front, and it will also cause them to sink slowly so that they remain in the order. Otherwise, sometimes there's issues where they could maybe get misordered on these first few, just because this one will get input here before it goes down, and then like a couple of these will flop. If you don't want to use snow, you can use like a chest, a hopper, a chest, hopper type thing. You might get a little bit misordering, but it should be deterministic so that you can figure out how it goes and then just rearrange these if you want to do it that way. But I actually really like how this snow looks, so I'm really happy with this design. So it's a pretty simple design, very robust, and actually relatively small. I think it's what, 1, 2, 3, 6 blocks high if you don't count the support block, and 2 wide and 3 deep, which is relatively small for what it does. The only drawbacks that a design like this has is the storage capacity, right? So this will only ever hold 3 completed potions. So if you need to be doing a massive project, maybe this isn't the right thing for you. But if you just have a couple of these modules sitting in your base, they'll be really good to just have, 3 bottles. Usually if they're 8 minutes each, that's plenty enough, like fire resist, to go through the nether for a little bit. And of course, they can keep crafting things up. So if you build one of these at a project site, it will probably finish crafting another set of 3 bottles before you're out of the other one, like water breathing, fire resist, whatever. And then I guess the final drawback is that it does have to hold a full dispenser of crafted bottles. So it's not completely efficient with, crafting your glass into bottles. But this is kind of a small setback. And in the future, I'll probably come up with a design that does away with this. The reason we have to have this full is because, well, it could have a little less than full, but it has to pretty much be full. But the reason for that is that whenever we're dispensing a bottle into this water block here, if there is an empty slot in the dispenser, it will prioritize to put the filled bottle back in the dispenser rather than dropping it out in front. And we need it to drop it out in front so that it gets collected by this hopper. But there's ways to do this where you can not have a full thing. It just takes up a little bit more room. It's not as elegant, but I figure eventually I'll figure out a nice design for one of them and release that for you as well. So that's pretty much how it works, the benefits, drawbacks. Final thoughts, I really wish this crafter could be quasi-powered. That would make a lot of the other designs I've tried actually really, really elegant, and I think I have one that's a beautiful design if only this could be quasi-powered, and that would be a design that doesn't require the dispenser to be full of empty bottles here. But other than that, I think we're actually in a pretty good place here, so let me know in the comments below if you end up building this and what you think of it. I actually like these taller designs. I know they're not for everyone, but I like them because I can fit them in my walls of my base easy without them sticking out the back, and then I can have like another room back here without the walls feeling like they're 10 blocks thick. Yeah, just let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.